22 Terrible Tenant Stories. According to Reddit. Number 22. I used to work for my stepfather when he had a business cleaning out and renovating apartments where particularly bad tenants had been evicted or their lease ran out, and on moving out would leave most of their garbage behind. Here's some of the worst things I saw when I was doing that. A big old Victorian style house in a nice neighborhood. On moving out, they left literally a foot-thick pile of clothing covering the entire basement floor, for which would have been fine if the pipes weren't also leaking, so most of the clothes were sopping wet and molding. Another large house, though, in a less nice neighborhood. Dirty diapers left everywhere, some wrapped up in old shopping bags, but a giant pile of them left sitting in the closet of what was obviously a children's bedroom. Number 3. Townhouse style apartment. One of the rooms had several fist-size holes in the wall, and the other rooms had obviously bad patch-up jobs done, and whomever had been making the holes decided that it would be a good idea to use the holes as garbage receptacles. Had to tear out all the walls just to make sure we got all the trash. Number 4. Middle-sized house. Tenants had left lots of food in the house, and the power had been cut more than 2 months before they were actually evicted. The place smelled worse than the diaper place once the fridge was opened to reveal the 5 gallons of spoiled and rotting milk. Several rather large packages of meat and other rotting foods. But number 5 honestly made me very sad. Small but nice house in a very well-off suburban neighborhood. Was being rented by guys who actually lived out of state, but would use it for a party house and a drug den when they wanted to party or fell off their wagon. Trash, broken furniture, clothing, and drug paraphernalia everywhere. Lots of tiny bags of various drugs, unmarked medication bottles half full of pills, needles hidden all over the place. Walls and holes are completely caved in, mold, mildew everywhere. While cleaning out a room, went to empty out a desk to make it a little easier to get out to the dumpster, and found tons of handwritten letters to one of the guys from his wife and children, all begging for him to get sober and to be in their lives again, including pictures drawn by what I assume was a small child in crayon and markers. Get your shit together, Dad. Please, Daddy. Please be in my life. Yeah. Pretty heavy shit, I suppose. Here's hoping everyone in the stream chat is having a great day. Hello, Fat Man and Sarah Bishop. Hello, Michael Davis, Morgana, and Gassy. Hope you guys are all doing fantastic. As we roll up to number 21, we had one tenant who wouldn't pay rent. We followed the protocols to evict him, but he kept getting the judge to agree to an extension. He ended up staying rent-free for 7 months. He also complained about any and everything. The neighbors are too loud. Someone's car alarm went off across the street. One of the neighbors has a cat and I'm allergic. There is literally nothing I can do to remedy these situations. When he finally got evicted, he left the apartment in shambles. Holes in the walls, curtains stained with what I can only assume were shit, and the rug was littered with cigarette butts. I wouldn't wish something like that on my worst enemy. Well, damn. Well, damn. Hannah says, I'll send Kyle a pic, fat man. He'll confirm for you. The hell are you guys talking about? Hannah says, I'm in the bathtub. Legendary fat man Kyle, stop yawning. I just woke up. It's not helping. I apologize. I instinctively yawn because it relaxes my vocal cords and it helps me calm down. It also helps get a bit of oxygen to my brain. I also just had something of a panic attack, so I'm coming down off of that as well. Hello, Red Jinx. Here's hoping your day is wonderful. And I hope that I suppose Fat Man can provide you with the memes necessary to please you. As we roll up this list to number 20, it reads, Jesus Christ. Not a real landlord, but I was, or am, renting a room to my girlfriend's friend since she got kicked out of her old place. She lost her job within a week of moving in. What the fuck is wrong with you? She lost her job within a week of moving in, got a new job, and used a guy as a sugar daddy, buying her smokes, weed, booze, clothes. He apparently wanted more, so she quit the job. Got another job as a custodian, got fired within a month for refusing to work her scheduled shifts, then went on welfare. This whole time, she hasn't bought anything for the apartment, toilet paper, soap. She's lazy as hell, leaves all the lights on when she leaves, never cleans anything but her room, throws full bags of garbage onto the not full garbage in the kitchen. Saw her put 3 bags on top of each other. Come on now. I confronted her about leaving everything all on all the time a few months ago. Today I come home to a passive-aggressive note about leaving our fan on in our room. She proceeded to scream at me, try her hardest to make me mad at my girlfriend, telling me she wanted me to leave. No, she told me she wanted to leave. Me, blah, blah. Okay. Every time I proved her wrong, she changed the subject to continue yelling. Ended up throwing my Xbox onto the floor and threatened me with violence if I moved her stuff out of her room when she left. Man, that sounds like a threat. You threatening my electronics, boy? Interesting. 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 Someone in the stream named Terra Nulty says, I had a fight with my brother, but every day Kyle stream is a good day. How sweet of you, Tara. I hope that whatever you fought with your brother about is quickly forgotten, if not resolved. I now have my second indoor lock in place, waiting for her to come home and start shit to call the cops. Or tomorrow, I'm getting my landlord to change the locks, and then I'm gonna move all her stuff by the dumpster in the...
Lowercase h less than 3 formerly, not a pork chop.
Listen, Jessica A. I love you. I appreciate you. That $5 is hot, girl. And I can't get enough. But I know the lowercase h means that you're typically a lurker. But I can only assume that not a pork chop maybe was your alias before. All of it contextually is confusing as hell, and I don't know where to begin. The Red Jinx says, just came by to say I love and miss you. Oh, she's saying that to people, not me. In my face, in my face. Hope you have a great day, Jinx. I have to leave to go deal with things, but I hope to catch another stream in the next week or so. Well, I wish the same for you. These will all be here when you return. As we travel up the list of 22 horrible Tenant stories, we arrive at number 19. I was renting a house. Oh shit, this needs to be adequately spaced. Has it been this way the whole time? Oh boy. That's better. Okay. I was renting a house and subletting a room to an 18-year-old couple. Real nice, considerate, devout Christians. Where do we spell it like that? Overseas. Had to leave for 2 weeks and asked them to clean the house spotless so that we could get a security deposit back and in turn pay them for the trouble. Come back a couple of days early excuse me, to find that they had completely trashed the entire house. Crack den status. What? Jesus fucking Christ, moron. Moved to the mattress down into the living room, including our TV, went through all of our stuff and incorporated it into their stuff. Adopted 2 cats 2 days after we left, no pets, found the adoption papers, kitty litter in every square inch of the carpet, used condoms everywhere. Jesus Christ, man, come on now. The whole house smelled like cigarettes and it was a no smoking. And pawned our $800 drum set and $200 bongo or $200 bong and stole most of the sentimental keepsakes I had kept in a small box since I was a child. The cops were called and they were in the green legally, proceeded to pack up whatever they wanted, including our stuff, and left with their parents who didn't care what their kids had done. Fuck Reno, Nevada. I like that they were in the green legally, which means you got to be a little bit more careful about what's going down, motherfuckers. You can't just let these people into your place to do this stupid shit. That really sucks. That really sucks. Sean Watson says, Kyle, worst tenant was the roommate I found dead in my apartment, and I had to move his body to make sure. I was a suspect momentarily. What a joke. Well, dude, sometimes it could be worse, as crazy as that sounds. You know, I'm glad he was dead because, you know, imagine if he was alive and then he tried to incriminate you even harder as like some sort of accomplice or something. People are liars and they'll get you in trouble. It's fucked. Curious says, Kyle, sup? Nothing much. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Halo Clean says, who spends $200 on a bong? Well, a lot of people spend a lot of money on whatever their dumb hobbies are, you know what I mean? People justify a lot of things when they're totally into it, so we don't know where to begin. Okay. Oh, look. I didn't see a post, a message from Hannah. Hannah really is perfect. Forgive me, I'm silencing some of the nonsense going on. Not you, Hannah. You're lovely. As we proceed into number 18, I was a landlord when my girlfriend moved in with me. Well, and she had an empty condo. The first 2 renters were fine, but then there was Kevin. Kevin was a single male with good income, seemed like a perfect tenant. We get into month 3, and the rent checks stop coming in. So we go to the condo to find out what the deal is. First off, there is a nice new flat screen TV, but no furniture, and a giant beanball chair. A beanball chair, bro? I'm not gonna touch it. I'm not going to touch it. We ask where the hell the money is. Kevin looks frantically through his Bible and is all like, I lost the money order, sir. Pissed off. We do a little more looking and it turns out he has a roommate, a silent, muscular black man. Okay, whatever. But if you have a roommate, you gotta tell us, Kevin, so we can put him on a lease. Long story short, Kevin stays silent, and a few days later, we come by to serve him papers and to begin the eviction process. Kevin's no-named roommate turns out to be a rapist who is out on parole. Oh, shit. Bend over, Kevin. That is great and all, but we were right across the street from a school. Old Kevin was violating sex offender legislation. Thank God he left without much of a fight, and we were able to dump the condo at a modest profit. Good Lord. Oh boy. Good Lord. Sarah Bishop says, my hobby is sending pictures of me making ugly faces to Kyle. Yeah, Sarah Bishop is writing a hypothetical book called How to Get Kyle to Ignore Her. And you know, oh man, she's going at light speed. You know what I'm talking about? Shit, how to get Kyle to just stop even in one step, mother, for number 16. Okay? When I was a teenager, my family rented our downstairs unit to a small family. Nothing crazy happened, but the mom annoyed the crap out of me. My bedroom was right above theirs, and she was constantly calling my parents to complain about noise. And when I say noise, I mean the faint sounds of someone walking down a hallway or some other BS. My parents decided to accommodate them by purchasing a rug to line the hallway and making it a rule for me not to be on the phone or up and about after 10 p.m. But even after all that, she still found something to call about. Like, how the fuck are you going to complain about someone walking normally down a carpeted hallway? Keep in mind, they've had several tenants in that unit before they moved in, and none of them ever complained about the noise. Once I was up late in my room watching TV, and the remote rolled off my bed, hitting our hardwood floor. I immediately grabbed it to mute my TV, but moments later, what do you know? Our home phone starts ringing at 1 in the fucking morning. The mother called about the loud noise she just heard and felt compelled to complain about it, even though it lasted less than a second. This type of scenario happened all the time, and at the end of their lease, they moved out. We then rented the unit to a family and never heard any more noise complaints. Good fucking riddance. Well, some people just are the way some people are. What you gonna do? What can you do? Oh, I am really still trying to calm down here. So hopefully this list hits the spot for somebody that may have been in the mood for a quick distraction. Seems 15 has been deleted too. I apologize, guys. That's 2 that have been deleted. I'm sure as we roll up to the top, there will be some that are like multiple entries. So you get multiple for the price of 1. So as we continue along on the list of 22 terrible tenant stories, we arrive at number 14. My parents have owned properties for a while, so there's a number. But the one that I'm personally invested in is the last tenant. They decided to rent out my childhood home, and I suggested it to a coworker. I had worked with this woman for several years and thought she and her family were decent people. I trusted them. They brought bed bugs into the place and did quite a bit of damage to the walls. They also pulled out and sold 100-year-old hardwood trim, removed the central air unit and sold it, and just generally fucked the place up. They then proceeded to skip town after being kicked out once they found out that their wages were being garnished. Show up to your court dates, kids. Having tenants leave behind a pile of trash, horrifying bathrooms, and holes in the walls are common. Or is common, I should say. But I hold a bit of a grudge on this one specifically. Disgusting. Well, if it isn't Lady Spook herself, how wonderful to see you. Jessie Green was here the other night. Sexy Jessie Green. Nice to see her after all that time. Michael Davis says, what happened, Gael? I don't know if you're asking about what has me, in a terrified kind of drained mood, but no, it was something with my microphone that I was lucky enough to be able to sort out, so hopefully I can crank out whatever I need to earn enough to fuck up another microphone, because this is not the first time that this has happened with the Blue Yeti, and I'm beginning to learn that the life on these things maybe aren't what they're used to be. I hope it's just not a planned obsolescence scenario. Faith says, I'm at school, but okay, hope you're having a good day at school. Oh, little Faith. Sean Watson says, Kyle, how do you like hanging out in my pocket while I walk around my work? It's alright in here, I mean, could be worse, Bing bong. So we roll up to number 13. A 2-bedroom unit rented to 2 girls, grown women, mind you, with jobs, etc., complained that there were roaches. Previous tenant had no roach problems. We even had it cleaned, so none. We get it taken care of, still complained that there were roaches. Now, we're thinking she or her roommate brought them. We skimmed to them, both leaving on October 31st. We get the key and check the unit. It is trashed. They left most of their shit behind. Bottles on the counter, glasses, plates, cutlery, clothes, shoes, just food all over the place. And roaches. Lots of them. We call junk removers. They don't remove unless it's roach free. We called pest control. They advise me to remove the things before they do their jobs. Fuck my life. Oh my God. That's just how it goes sometimes, Number 12. Used to work in lettings. We had a young couple move into the house. They were young and were using benefits to pay their rent, but the landlord wanted to give them a chance. 2 months later, we got a call from a locksmith contracted by the police. The police had raided the house the night before because the young man was a drug dealer. They had literally smashed the front door frame out of the wall, and the locksmith had been called to make it good. Okay. We called the girl. The young man was in police custody, and she couldn't afford the rent and wanted out of both the tenancy and the relationship. We made a house visit to check the state of the door. It was pretty bad. They had a dog in a house with a no pets policy, and it had been shut in a bedroom a lot. Feces and chew marks, scratch marks everywhere. And they had smoked, even though there was a no smoking policy, and the house stunk of stale cigarettes. The landlord agreed to let them out of the tenancy and get the house back on the market. It cost thousands to put the house right. New front door, decoration, all new carpets. It was just about ready to advertise when he got a call from the neighbor. There had been a disturbance the night before, and he had to call the police. The young man, upon being released from police custody and unable to get back with his girlfriend, had broken back into the property a couple of days earlier to squat. He had then had a visit from his supplier he owed a lot of money to. His supplier ended up stabbing him. He almost bled to death on the brand new carpet. What a ride, guys. Once we'd get more new carpets in and fix the broken window from where he'd broken in and found a new reputable tenant. A nice young man who was actually a drug counselor, which turned out to be good because a lot of the local addicts didn't get the memo about their dealer being arrested and then stabbed. So he had a lot of visitors in the beginning and knew just how to deal with them. Nigga, let me go ahead and black out this freaking list real quick because that's scary as hell. Can you imagine being a dude that's just moving into a place and not knowing what the hell's going on with? Sorry, I was stretching. wanting to mind your own business. And you got all these crackheads banging on the door talking about, yo, you the dealer? This the crack spot, ain't it? And you just in here like, no, this most certainly is not the crack spot. What have I gotten myself into? I didn't see that on the papers. Contact my landlord right now. Hello? I did not know that this was the crack spot. At no place in the documentation did you specify that this was indeed the spot in and about where crack might be. Bing bong. Now, also another woman was with mental issues tried to kill both herself and her kids by burning the house down. They all got out alive and she got help. Even though it says she hot help, you know. I guess that's pretty cool. She hot help. I guess when you hot enough, you get all the help in the world. That's why I need to get hot. So all the ladies will be all like, Kyle, you want that help? I got that help. Bootylicious. And then they'll say bootylicious. And I'll be like, what? You're weird. Okay. Another guy threatened to kill me because he owed rent and couldn't pay. And I made him feel guilty. Oh, he got a visit from the police. What with me knowing where he lived and all. My favorite story was the tenants who lost their postbox key. The landlord posted them a new one. Hilarious. Well, how the hell are we supposed to get that out of there? You see the problem? Do you see the problem? Emmy Magic says, poor puppy. Yeah, that poopy dog, you got stuck in that room pooping all over the floor, talking about scratch it up, talking about let me out of this room, man, I'ma poop it up. Hannah says, I'll help you any day, Kyle. Hannah's too high class for the type of help that I need, okay? Hannah deserves the world, whereas I'm playing around in this sandbox, y'all. Trying to get up out this sandbox. Faith says it keeps buffering at school. That shit sucks. Your connection at school must be lame as hell. But maybe that's a good countermeasure to make it so that the little kids can't be getting a hold of no cry. Yeah, baby. Oh, damn. As we roll up the list of 22 terrible tenant stories, forgive me, you know I'm not my crazy bouncing off the wall self, I guess. And some of you are probably, I don't know, enjoying me this way better. But I really am just trying to chill out. That panic attack took a lot out of me earlier. And then the desperation that followed was something exquisite. But as we reach the halfway marker on the list of 22 terrible tenant stories, we arrive at number 11, and it reads as follows. My parents had some tenants when I was probably 7 or 8 that never paid the rent, and they wound up getting evicted. My parents decided that they would save some money, and we would just clean the place up ourselves. This was their worst idea ever. I didn't know a lot of the stuff that I saw. That day was until I didn't know what a lot of the stuff I saw that day was until much later in my life. The first thing I saw when we walked in the door was a fish tank full of dead exotic fishes. In the bedroom, we found used condoms, used tampons, and used needles, like just laying around. Once we saw the bedroom, my parents gave up and hired a cleaner, but I heard what else they found. Come on, man. That was like a gasp, like burp. That was like a gasp, a burp. You're crazy, dude. Once we saw the bedroom, my parents gave up and hired a cleaner, but I heard what else they found. They found a cat shoved into the toilet of the master bathroom. It was terrible. And that's why I called this list 22 terrible tenants stories. Even though there probably shouldn't be an S at the end of tenants, because the stories aren't from the perspective of the tenant. They're from the perspective of the other people who are all like, oh my God, these people were terrible. What are you trying to talk about? This is not a crack den tonight. Jesus Christ. Why you drowning a cat in the bathroom? You can't flag me, YouTube. I didn't drown the cat. Just a story I'm reading, brah. Looks like Hannah shrugs. What's Hannah shrugging about? What's all the shruggery about, Hannah? That's my favorite one right there. That's the one I like. Hilliclean actually remembers the cats under the mattress story. That shit made me fucking go nuts. I still remember it like, what the fuck? What? Yo, you know what I mean? You ever occasionally see a fetish that makes you go, damn, son? I'm not saying that banging on a mattress with dead cats under it is a fetish. I'm just saying, like, and the worst part is, in my brain, it's like, maybe the cats were alive at the time. And like, that's how y'all get down, is y'all put live cats under a mattress and then you bang under it. I mean, on top of it, while they're under it. Oh my God. What kind of world are we living in? Oh my God. But let's continue. Number 10. I used to have a job that involved cleaning and minor repairs of rental apartments and houses between tenants. Oh, good for you. Usually it was easy enough, but the ones who we were evicted, Jesus Christ, you want to try that again? Usually it was enough, but the ones who were evicted often made it a point to wreck the place on the way out. One particular asshole decided to pack plumber's putty into the sink and bathroom drains, then turn the taps on before he left. They had to get professional contractors to fix most of it, but I got to rip out a bunch of stinky wet carpet and water-damaged floorboards. That's kind of unfortunate, and I'm sorry. Jeez. Nat Brat says, hey everybody. Jessica E is building a gun. And Sarah Bishop says, I used to sneak up behind my super floofy kitty when him was drinking out of the toilet. And I would scare him and watch him fall in the potty, and then give me the angry sleep with the one eye open look. What an anecdote, ladies and gentlemen. Number 9. My mom had some tenants in a rental property who apparently were serial crap sacks and would live in a place until they got evicted. They'd move on to another place after. They'd do things like not pay rent while claiming the AC was broken or some other property-related issue, then avoid actually letting it be examined or fixed. Long story short, after getting evicted, they waited until the very last minute to move out, left a bunch of their stuff behind, and filled a microwave with hot dogs, which they left to rot. Ugh. While my mom was in the process of getting a court order, the TV show Hot Bench, a Judge Judy spinoff, called and asked them to come on. Everyone got flown out to LA, and my mom got her money, and the crap sacks got berated on national daytime TV. So I suppose it worked out in the end? Well, if you say so. I apologize for that noise. Let's continue up to number 8. A tenant rented an apartment that does not come with a parking space. An apartment in the building that did come with a parking space came available. He asked if he could have it. I told him it would be a certain amount of money per month extra. He then started posting propaganda all over the property about the injustice that I supposedly committed for not giving him a parking space for free. Speaking of injustice, I think I'd like to play that corny little fighting game. It looks so cute. They put a lot of attention into Harley Quinn's face. Harley Quinn. Now that's a mouth that most people would plop a thing in. You know what I'm talking about? Oh boy. He tried to get other tenants to sign a petition that would make me give up my parking space on the property. He then took us to court. He lost, but not without just a fucking nightmare of little shit of a personality and sociopathic tendencies. Well, the most annoying aspect of all of it was the fact that he was this bullshit hippie dude who was all about peace and positive vibes and teaching yoga and shit. Wrong him, though. And he was the most toxic human being you've ever met. What a Genji main. Legendary Fat Man says, well, boys and girls, the fat man's gotta hit the road. Gotta work hard for my money to keep the Kyle happy. Well, Look, all I want you to be happy too, fat man. So all I suggest is just finding a broad who is probably on the porky side. I'm talking about like a big, hefty, fat lady. And she's, you can close your eyes and when you mount her and when you're giving it to her, you're giving her the old in and out. You just remember that you're doing it for Kyle. You know what I mean? Also, she has to have money. Did I specify that in the beginning? Find a loaded fat chick. Maybe she's disabled too. Go on some dating sites, type in disability or disabled as a keyword, and then just chat them up, strike it up. They getting them checks. They getting them checks. Ooh, Kyle, you're supposed to get that gritty and rude. You told that joke last night and you tried to roll over it like it wasn't a big thing that nobody said, but I think somebody caught it because they were all like, the savage guy. Oh my God, the savage. It's not like I would do it. Damn. Faith says, I had to hide from teachers so they wouldn't take my phone. Oh, you don't let them take your phone. That's your identity, Faith. Okay. Don't let them take your phone. Okay. Or better yet, don't lock your phone so that when they try to take it, say that you need to lock it. And that if they don't let you lock it, it's an invasion of privacy. Just intend to make a scene. You know what I mean? That's what I would do. They'd be like, give me your phone. And I'd be like, bitch, you ain't touching my phone. It's my identity on this bitch. You know what I'm talking about? You know how much vital information can be leaked and people can have my address and my credit card and all kind of bullshit like this. You trying to get me doxxed, teach? You stupid bitch. This isn't just like some fucking device that makes phone calls like your old ass does. I'm not receiving emails and browsing the internet alone with this shit. Everything about who I am is on this device. You don't know nothing about that, old man, because you're just waiting to the day that you gonna end up in the grave, you stupid old man. Suck a dick, teach. Suck a dick. Oh, wait. You'd probably love to do that because you gay, you Fruit Loop guzzling, crack smack wop babaloo bop balop. We'll have a gay old time watching the Flintstones ass. Suck a dick, teach. Come on. Romeo Hall says, I feel down right now. I don't want to live anymore. Love you, Kyle. This might be the last stram. I see. Well, dude, if you're about as good at killing yourself as you are at spelling, you've got nothing to worry about. You know what I mean? Romeo, you don't get to just throw your life away. You've got money to make from me. I'm dead serious, homie. Romeo, you don't get to just be like, I'm gonna kill myself. Go out, get me $50, okay? If you can get me $50 and you can donate that, then, then we'll have a real talk about whether or not you deserve to take your own life, man. But you're not there, bruh. You don't just get to do stuff like that. I'm just saying. You're going to leave a lot of stuff behind that's going to follow you to the afterlife. Here's the thing. You know why it's so easy for a lot of people to take their own life? It's because they don't know what waits for them on the other side. Oh, it's so much scarier than just, an afterlife or, multiple dimensions or realities as you guys see them pressed up against one another. It's so much scarier than that. But it's the oblivion to that. It's the obliviousness to what surrounds you that makes it so that you can even make decisions and move on with your life. You know how many people know things that they pretty much have to ignore on a daily basis when they wake up because there'd be no other way of going on. You know what I'm talking about? I'm dead serious. Someday you may come across some knowledge where you realize you can't utter this shit. You can't speak this to another person. You can't talk about this. You can't even think about it because it would block your ability to exist in a way where you could wake up and jump through the dumbass hoops of the stupid shit that you're supposed to do on a daily basis just to make it to the next day. You wouldn't be able to go on. So here's what you need to do is get all that shit out of your ears. Take it down a notch, baby. And you got it going on. Casey Quinn's all like, hey, Kyle, I hope you're having a great day. My day's been terrible. And for people who have been asking, here's why. I turned my mic on this morning. Nothing but crazy static and crackling and popping noises. Like not normal. Not normal. The type of thing that made me think that the mic was utterly and ridiculously damaged, as if it had been dropped, as if fluid had been dumped into the microphone itself. I Googled the problem. And we're not talking about like your grandma's Googling, motherfucker. I Googled this issue without cease for minutes that turned into hours of my time. And what unfortunately I came to find was that this is a popular problem that many people who have this specific microphone encounter. And what that means is that with all the troubleshooting that I did, where I'm changing the cord and I'm getting another auxiliary and I'm turning it off and turning it on and I'm disconnecting and reconnecting and I'm hard resetting the computer and I'm downloading new drivers and I'm changing the audio paths and the bandwidth, I'm flicking to mono and stereo, I'm trying to record it in different ways. Let me plug it into another, laptop or computer. Let me plug it into the PS4. The problem persists. The mic is fucking broken. Out of desperation, I unscrewed the microphone from my mic stand and just started fucking shaking it in my hand out of desperation. And it started working. This microphone's done, motherfucker. But if I can get it to work for a certain amount of time longer to earn what I need to get, dude, we'll go from there. And look, I'm not proud of how I was, but that's pretty much one of the few things that can go wrong. There are two things that can go wrong that can send me into a fucking spiral of insanity. Something happens to the computer. Something happens to this microphone. And the comedy is, this is my backup. That thank God sweet precious Lexeus was sexy enough to make happen. You see what I'm saying? This is my backup microphone. My last microphone was trashed by my mother of all people. Let's not get into it. You feel me? Let's not get into it. But this is my backup microphone, and I in my negligence have not established a backup. So, this is the kick in the ass that I need. Thank the divine forces at play. Thank the sweet Hannah in the sky that this mic has decided to, allow me to just get a little bit of juice out of it so I can keep working towards this next one. Because holy shit, if it were to just be like, you know what I mean? And I had to figure out how the hell I'm going to get the next one and what's going to happen, I would really lose my mind for a little bit, and that's not cool. So I apologize, but there's the anecdotal, story of why I'm a little bit trippy dippy this morning. Interesting. Hilloclean says, I hope when I die, I just get to float through space and never-ending euphoria for eternity. Pretty high hopes, man. I think what you're looking for are drugs. Enjoy drugs while you're alive, because, well, maybe if I believe it hard enough, those last moments when I'm dreaming, as I die, it'll be that way. I really wish that, when your brain fires is for its last time, when it's kind of like being high and being drunk and orgasming at the same time, that it was a moment, it's something that would trick you into feeling like it's lasting forever. You know what I mean? Like it's lasting like another lifetime even. Linkasek says, Kyle, I am one of your lurkers. I listen to your shows at work. Have you ever lived with a roommate from hell? Just one of my exes. She was unbearable. And then her lies kind of got my freedom robbed from me. Other than that, can't say I've been in any other crazy scenarios. Essentially, it only took me one time to learn a lesson. And yeah, no, I'm not living with anybody anymore. Detroit says, I don't think it works like that, Hilla. Well, none of us know for sure, so we can hold fast to our hopes and dreams. And if you're anything like me, you have faith. You see what I did there? You see what I did there when I say I have faith because there's a girl named Faith?
Bazinga!
You know what I mean? Never mind. Banal says, too bad I don't live anywhere near you, Kyle, because I would fix that mic for you. If you think it's something that you could fix, dude, everywhere that I looked online was pretty much just saying this is a thing that happens with these microphones. And if what most people try doesn't fix it, then it's done. And that sucks. But Nat Brat says, hi, Kyle. How you doing? Forgive me as I continue once again back up this list of... I've lost the window. There it is. 22 terrible Tenant stories. According to Reddit. Number 7. I had a tenant remove the kitchen island and bring it outside by the pool because they needed an outdoor serving area. Oh my God. Barbarians. Have you no civility? What are you talking about? Man, this one's a long one. Jeez, man. Oh my God. Is this a joke? Is this a joke? Oh. Let me adjust my seating. Jesus Christ. And I'm thirsty. I'm thirsty. Okay. I'll be a baby, Kyle. Give me a second. As we go ahead and proceed, we arrive at number 6. I'm using a throwaway for obvious reasons. I have a crazy manipulative tenant. She looks after the place well, but I wonder if the psychological damage is worth it. Early on in the tenancy, she complained about the shower curtain sticking to her. Oh, it's someone else's problem, is it? It's a shower over bath setup, and since she pays her rent reliably and keeps the place clean, we thought, oh, okay, what the hell, and paid to have a glass screen put in. We specifically instructed that the glass screen goes in front of the shower head, as any sane person would. And it's installed, and after it's installed, I get a complaint from her about how she has to turn the shower head 45 degrees to stop the water hitting the ground. I go to inspect and find that the glass is inexplicably at the other end of the bath. It turns out she'd insisted that the installer ignore our instructions and put it there. For whatever fucking reason, I don't know. I told her that since she'd countermanded our instructions on something we were paying for, that was now a permanent fixture in our property, and she was bloody lucky we didn't charge her for it, and that she was going to have to live with the setup she'd insisted on. She asked if she could put a cat flap in the back door. We agreed, on the provision that she pay for it herself. See, we're learning. And that it be a proper cat flap, not some homemade dodgy garbage. She put in a rubber flap cat door, which I personally wouldn't have gone with, but whatever, she's happy. We let it go. Little did we know what that was leading to afterwards. After the first winter in the house, she emails us copies of her electric bills and says that the house needs better heating because her bills are too high. Looking at the bills, we agree that the house must need better heating, and we invest in a 7 kW Daikin split system. She tries to tell us where to put it, and we tell her that the installers have designated Spot X as the most effective and that we're not open to alternatives. We instruct the installers to refuse to shift the unit, learning, to another location unless they deem it to be superior. Because she's not paying for the damn thing, we are. After the installation, the installer says to us, hey, just to let you know, the reason her bills were so high last year is that she pulled the cat flap into the open position and left it hooked up that way all winter. Yes, she created a deliberate hole between inside and outside, left it fully open for an entire season, then complained that her heating wasn't effective. Also, she could score an expensive new heater that wasn't required. At this point, I'm thinking, is she really that manipulative? Would anyone deliberately freeze themselves just to make me fork out thousands of dollars for new heating? Is it really that important to screw me over for no purpose? Surely not. Surely not. Well, someone doesn't have a wife in their life to know what women are capable of. Ooh. You know, they're not all terrible, but they are all capable of being terrible. Bing bong. Next, she asked for my permission to get a dog. We said yes. She then told us she'd purchased a puppy and it would be ready in 3 months. But oh hey, that side fence needs replacing or else he'll get out. The fence would have needed replacing within 7 or so years anyway, so we figure, okay, that's probably not entirely unreasonable, and agree. We're not keen on the way she's manipulating things by getting us to agree to a pet and then using that to pressure us, but we take the attitude that if we get the fencing job done over with now, it's done, and that would not be a problem for later. Then she says that the neighbors are druggies, and so she wants the fence extended down the driveway to stop them hovering near her car. Is that right? We can see her point. The neighbors definitely are criminals and constantly in trouble with the police. Fair enough, we think. So we'll look into this as well. The druggies are evicted a few days later. Hurrah! And social services put the houses up for sale. We put the fence on hold until the sale goes through. A nice bloke buys the house and starts renovating it for his family. Great guy. We replaced the fence at our expenses, and he helped with the labor. Wow. However, we're not learning fast enough, in fact. We're total fucking idiots. Because it seems that now she's not getting the dog after all. The dog ploy was sufficient enough to get the fence replaced. No dog necessary now. She has a shiny new fence, but she's not happy. No, she wants the fence extension put in. But, we point out, the new guy is a quiet family man and no threat to anyone. There is no need for a fence extension, and so we will not be putting one in. You have a brand new fence. Be happy. She is not happy. Well, she sends me a text about a week later saying that she really needs the fence extension put in because, and I quote, the police are all over and there's dead bodies in the street. As you can imagine, I'm floored by this. Aside from the now long evicted ferals, the house is in a nice street, mostly populated by retirees. It is not, by a long stretch, any kind of ghetto. I ring the new neighbor to confirm, and he says that no, there's no police anywhere and that the street is, as usual, quiet. He questions whether perhaps my tenant is schizophrenic. God knows. Maybe. I think more likely she's just compulsively manipulative because she's got a very clear end game in all of this, and she shows remarkable dedication to coming up with complete bullshit to achieve it. But anyway, back to the police in the streets and the dead bodies everywhere. Turns out there was an accidental carbon monoxide death of 2 people on a boat moored at a nearby bay, and the police were attending the incident. No crime. Nothing but a tragedy a couple of blocks away, which was being attended to very respectfully by the authorities. I tell her that no fence extension is going to be forthcoming. End of story. Or so I think. A few weeks later, she tells me that she needs the fence extension because the neighbor's gate keeps swinging into her driveway and hitting her car. Say word? I popped around to speak with the neighbor because God knows I can't trust a single word that comes out of that tenant's mouth. And while I'm there, he demonstrates that, lo, the gate cannot in any way enter her driveway, even in a gale. Even if he swung it real hard, it cannot enter here or there. It cannot enter anywhere on her property. Because the gate is inset from the end of the fence, there is no literal way for the swing past that point. At this stage, I told her through gritted teeth that I have spoken with the neighbor and that the car is safe from his gate. In 3 years she's been with us, she hasn't had a rental increase, and she's always paid subsequently under market rate because it was more important to me to get someone who looked after the property than to get the best price for it. However, the very next time I got some made-up psychotic bullshit from her that's designated to manipulate me into yet another expensive and unnecessary upgrade, her rent is going to suddenly go up to market comparable. If I have to put up with any more of her crap, by God, she's going to start paying for it. And if it means that she moves on and I take my chances with a new person, then so be it. I've already checked the tenancy tribunal here, and I can put up the rent by $50 a week to match the market rate without them so much as blinking. And that's just to make it market comparable with the houses that don't have new fences and expensive heating. She's gone radio silent for a few months now. I hope maybe she's finally worked out that she is on a ridiculously sweet deal and should quit while she's massively ahead. Somebody said, I feel like I just read a Dr. Seuss story for adults. Bing bong. I'll save that. I'll save it for a later day. I'll save it for a later day. I hope you all enjoyed that. Those of you who weren't balls deep in Sarah Bishop's whatever story about whatever the hell she's got going on in her pregnant Dr. Seuss life. Sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. That's the music that I imagine in the background. I really need to find that song. What's the name of that song? We'll figure it out. Or the song where when Sarah Bishop's making babies, because she's always making the babies, and it's like she was like, I was forced to enter anger management. Jesus Christ. Where are the cool people in the stream? Or is she peeing so hard in every direction that everybody's look, I don't want anything to do with that. I don't want anything to do with that. Okay. I wonder if Anna's still here. Somebody named B2UT808 says, hey, Kyle. Spelled Cyeal. You losing a fight with your keyboard there, buddy? I finally got a chance to catch your live stream. That you did. And you know what they say about first impressions. I love you. Maddie K says, hey, Kyle. Hey, right back at ya. So as we roll up this list, Kotala says, am I cool? If you have to ask no, the answer is no, nigga. No, you ain't cool. You know who's cool? This chick right here. Oh my God. If it isn't Valentina. Hello, Valentina. As we roll up the list, we arrive at number 5. We're almost done. So hopefully this little daytime list, I don't know, eased your spirits the way that mine was eased when my fucking microphone was working. Jesus Christ. Number 5. This happened to my friend's rental. Guy gets evicted. Instead of trashing the place, this fucking guy cut off chunks of drywall, put dead fish in the walls, and sealed it back up. The tenant was a carpenter. The owner couldn't figure out what the smell was for weeks. They repainted, got it professionally cleaned a few weeks later, searched endlessly. Eventually, they figured something died in the walls and started knocking holes in the wall. Turned out to be that piece of shit moved by the tenant. Ugh. Somebody said, my bro put a glass of milk in the ceiling tiles of his slumlord's place in college upon graduation. Somebody said, honorable mention, nothing smells like decomposing flesh. Just don't play around with cadaverine and putrescin. Cadaverine and putrescin. I'm sorry, that's my new bookmark, guys. Cadaverine and putrescin. Putrescin and cadaverine. Oh, boys. I'm glad you guys are having a good day. Yeah, Kyle can get down in the stream chat. Putrescin. Number 4. Oh, man. I have a couple of Tenant from Hell stories. In 2007, an older couple decided to quit paying their rent, but they had pretty good excuses, so I didn't evict them until 3 months of not paying. Well, finally went down to the courthouse to file an unlawful detainer on them. We finally had our day in court. The female, who was usually dressed nicely with fake nails and an expensive weave, showed up looking like an old hag. The guy was using a walker. I roll, this fucker didn't need one. They claimed I was a slumlord and never fixed anything, but I had receipts from every repair, including a new AC unit. After I got the judgment against them, I tried to garnish the man's wages, was told he worked for Coca-Cola. Turns out they'd never heard of him. But after a little digging, I found out that they both had been arrested for selling coke. The officer showed me mugshots dating back to the early 80s. They also stole the refrigerator. This past summer, I had a family of 7 move into a 5-bedroom house. They paid their deposit and the first month's rent. That's it. Haven't seen another dime from them, and to top it off, they didn't get the power switched into their name, so I got a $100 plus power bill. About a month ago, I called the water company. Turns out they never put the water up. They never had the water turned on. So they have been stealing water. The water company pulled the meter. I'll be the one paying to have it put back. Jesus Christ. And when I gave a 24-hour notice to do a walkthrough with the police present, the woman answered the door and told me, "You can't come in, and we'll get out when you follow all the procedures and the sheriff kicks us out." I think they've done this before. Oh my God. Well. Oh my God. Oh boy. What is even happening? Casey Quinn says shrooms are better. Well, Casey, you are the expert. Number 3 has been deleted. Don't get mad at me. It's not my fault. I'm sorry. I'm so glad that Sarah Bishop can be in the stream right now. Why is that, Kyle? Because I think the nighttime streams are too late for her, which works out great for the nighttime streams, baby. Number 2. Oh man, look at all these. Jeez, Joe, oh man, look at all these. Oh, I'm hungry. It's past 3 o'clock, dude. I wanted to get Chinese. Oh. It's because I wanted to stream at noon. I wanted to stop by 1:30. I wanted to beat the lunchtime ending at 3 o'clock. But the mic was broken, and I've been messing with the mic for hours. So here I am now. Why was streaming so important in the day? I'm sorry, stream. Oh, fuck yourself, Kyle. You are Chinese Gatewood. Why don't you reel that shit in, Sarah Bishop, every fucking day with this chick? Ugh. Hannah says I'm hungry too. You don't even know. Number 2. My dad owns quite a few apartment buildings throughout Colorado. One summer while I was in college, he was between managers for one of his 80-unit properties. So I acted as the stand-in manager until he hired a new manager. I can't say she was a worse tenant per se, but I definitely have a few funny stories surrounding one woman named Kate. Well, sounds like a big titty lady name. We'll find out. One day we were served a notice that Kate was taking us to small claims court. Wow. Swag-tastical says, why can't you just get delivery, Kyle? Of course I can get delivery. What I was trying to catch was the window where they have a lunch special menu where they serve a sizable amount of rice and then whatever entree for $6, right? $6 and some tax, some change. Their meals are pretty much double that for around just a little bit more food. You know what I mean? But if you get the lunch special, you're getting a decent amount for a decent price. So to be honest, you can almost like double up and pay what you would normally pay for a regular meal, but get like double the amount of food. Be like, hey, give me 2 lunch combos. Do you get what I'm saying? Oh, because their lunch expires at 3 o'clock. Let me not worry about it. My mic is working, so I'm pleased. I'm happy. I'm set. It's not something I need to worry about the way I was freaking about earlier. Oh God, we're fine. One more time, guys. One day we were served with a notice that Kate was taking us to small claims court. Why? Because her in-unit washing machine was not working. Had she reported the problem to management? Nope. The maintenance man and I entered the unit that afternoon to fix the washing machine. The problem? It was unplugged. Oh, it was unplugged. Okay, look, same summer, my dad awakes me at 2 a.m. saying the local police department is at the apartment on a shots fired report. Oh, damn. When I arrive at the apartment, the place is lit up like Christmas with squad cars. There must have been 20 officers at the scene. What prompted the call? Kate and her bimbo friend were walking back from the bars hammered. They heard 2 loud pops and decided someone was firing at them. What actually happened? 2 guys launched a bottle rocket from a nearby balcony. Also worth noting, this happened on the 4th of July. Oh my God, Kate. Oh my God. Oh my God, Kate. Kyle, your Sarah Bishop senses are tingling. Oh shit, that means that I should once again hit that chick with a bit of the frickle freeze, so that whatever message that she may be, composing, she won't get the chance to hit us with. Not yet. Not yet. Oh, Kyle, you so fresh. We're fresh. When I was young, my dad owned 3 duplexes in a row. Oh my God. Legendary Fat Man says, poor Kyle, tell you what, I'll get Chinese lunch for myself. Well done, Fat Man. You made me laugh today. And he's the type of guy that'll send you pictures and be like, oh, it's okay, Kyle. I eat Chinese food. Look, not you though. Look, Kyle. Oh, it's okay, Kyle. It's okay, Kyle. When I was young, my dad owned 3 duplexes in a row. One winter around 1995, I believe, he noticed that the energy bill for one of the units was exorbitantly higher than the other units. He was curious about their energy consumption and paid a visit to the property. One day, while the tenant was at work, bing bong, he entered the basement and stumbled upon a hydroponics galore. He said that there were over 30 marijuana plants, and I hope you like jamming too. Oh yeah. Each with their own UV lamp and watering system. While weed is legal in Colorado now, it certainly was not 21 years ago. He told the tenant that he would be entering the basement in 2 days with a maintenance man to perform routine boiler maintenance. When he returned, in 2 days, the plants and hydroponics system were gone. Growing up, my dad always told me, you could identify a grow house from a mile away because it was the only house on the block that did not have snow on its roof. Bing bong. I just like that he was a cool motherfucker and was like, look, I'm gonna be back in 2 days. All right. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I'm gonna be back in 2 days, homie. And all of this stuff, man, I don't know. It'd be crazy. I'm gonna be back in 2 days. I'll see you. 2 days, baby. I'm gonna be back in 2 days. That's enough. That's enough. That is enough. Woo. Where are my big titties today? God. I could punch a wall. But I'm not that juvenile. Oh my God, Sarah Bishop senses tingling. Must reach. Okay, just hit it one more time. Hit it, baby, one more time. Savage. My dad leased 2 or 3 units to the local Mormon church at the 80-unit apartment complex I helped manage for a summer. The idea was the church would house their missionaries in my dad's units while they completed their mission. As a result, the apartment's inhabitants would rotate every year or so. Well, one rotation, my dad had a particularly un-Mormon batch of Mormon missionaries. The batch threw ragers so loud that the noise could be heard 4 buildings away. They also were known to frequent the local escort services and associated drug scenes. As you may imagine, my dad had quite the uphill battle to fight when it came to addressing the missionaries' extracurricular indiscretions with the Mormon church. I do believe he eventually did successfully evict them, though. Bing bong. Bing bong. Hannah says, here they are, Kyle. Here is what? Here is what? Faith says, I'm sorry, Kyle. What? For the fact that I can't get the Chinese? I'll get over it, I guess. I'll get over it, I guess. This is how my life goes, honestly. Also, I need to get out and spin a Pokestop today before it's too late. Before it's too late. Before it's too late. Will Game says, I wonder how mad Sarah is right now. She can't be that mad. I think that she must know that I love her. at the end of the day. Oh, snap, motherfucker, Kyle. Jesus Christ. At least get the girl some ointment. At least get the girl some ointment. Allow the girl to breathe. The unit that Kate lived in was a townhouse style, with the first floor consisting of a one-car garage and a staircase leading up to the living area. My dad's manager was posting a few available units on Craigslist when she happened upon another curious posting. Kate had posted the garage for rent on Craigslist under the premise that somebody could live in the garage and they would be able to come upstairs to use the kitchen and restroom. The manager immediately marched over there to notify Kate that her posting violated the lease, which specified no subletting, and Colorado Housing Code, which specifies a maximum occupancy of 2 people per bedroom plus 1. Kate lived in a 1-bedroom with her husband and child. Kate was unable to comprehend what the manager was saying. She just kept repeating, "But think of all the extra money we could make each month." My dad said she simply could not wrap her head around the fact that her idea would be violating a legally binding agreement and state housing code. They had to get her husband involved to have her removed the post. Kate called on Christmas Eve one year complaining that the heat would not turn on. My dad is a good guy and does not fuck around with things like tenants being without heat, so he immediately got up from the holiday dinner with extended family to fix their problem. The issue? The breaker was flipped. Y'all niggas. Y'all dirty niggas. Okay? Jesus Christ. What you mean the breaker was flipped? We in the middle of Christmas. Oh, Tannenbaum. Oh, Tannenbaum. The pipes are jingling. A jingle bell, suck on my cock. Sorry. Swagsticle says, my pops rented out a double-wide trailer to these dudes, and these tards lit that bitch on fire growing weed. Basically, they made a giant joint that you could smell from a mile away. Hey man, I bet we could turn this whole thing into a giant doobie, man. Jinky Shaggy or some shit like that. Wait, Scooby never said jinkies, and if he did, he'd probably say rinkies. Rinkies, Raggy. Yeah, something like that. Nat Brat is all like, everybody in the neighborhood say, oh. I'm done. Will Game says, let Sarah say something this time, Kyle. Sarah's gone, dude. Sarah's gone. Okay. I'm just having fun because she's not really here anymore, you know. I'm just having fun because she's not. Savage motherfucker. You know what I'm talking about? That's what I'm talking about. Anyway, when tenants come into the office to pay rent, my dad always offers them water or iced tea. One of his tenants accepted, opened the fridge, and grabbed one of the beers my dad has in there. Now, without fail, he always grabs a beer when he drops off his rent check, which makes my dad chuckle. My dad is buddies with one of the local mailmen. Whenever he has a tenant that screws him over by trashing the apartment or moving out in the middle of the night, the mailman will tell my dad their new address. My dad gives the mailman a gift certificate for a steak restaurant and a nice bottle of whiskey for Christmas every year. They have had this arrangement for about 10 years. Dude, your dad has got his shit together, man. And all we can ever dream as we read about stories like this is of being a person who's got their shit together in so ridiculous a caliber. Maybe someday. Here's the thing, guys. We've reached the end of this daytime list that I didn't have to do, and I feel like I shouldn't have done, mainly because I wanted to get something today and I didn't, and it probably would have calmed me down a lot better than me just freaking the hell out following what I thought was another microphone breaking. But let's get this working for as long as we can squeeze some life out of it, and when we replace it, we'll be good. Here's hoping you all have a fantastic day and an even better evening. Regardless of what time it may be for you, within another couple of hours, you know. Right now it's around 3:30, so 4:30, 5:30, 6:30, 7:30, 8:30, 9:30, in about 6 more hours. Very interesting. I'll be cranking out another list. Can you imagine? Every 6 hours you'd have a list from me? That'd be nuts. So if what you need is more me, then look out for me, and I hope you guys have a great day. You deserve no less. I'd like to thank my sponsors, who are amazing. They're all hot too. God, it's one thing to just be, amazing, but to be hot too, damn. And speaking of hot, my patrons are all bothered. So together they are hot and bothered. As we put a bow on the list of 22 terrible tenant stories, we arrive at number 1. Let's read it together. Everybody read out loud. When I was a little kid. I'm kidding. When I was a little kid. You're an idiot, man. I'm crazy, dude. That's fun. That was fun what I did where. Anyway, when I was a little kid, my parents bought a cheap house in a neighboring town and fixed it up to rent. 2 young women moved in and were great. Just out of college, working entry level and kind of getting by, no trouble. They called at 6 p.m. on Christmas Eve because there was a spider. Oh, my dad called back when he got home from church service and asked what they wanted him to do. They said they wanted him to kill it. So he went out there on Christmas Eve to kill their spider. They seemed to think this was normal, like about on par with what you'd expect your landlord to do if your water pipes burst on Christmas Eve. The least he could do, given the situation. And hopefully they were really nice and just, got down on their knees and gave him a little bit of, you know what I mean? Merry Christmas. Okay, I'm kidding. Not a horror story by any stretch, but it makes me laugh. He told me that I was not allowed to move out until I could kill my own spiders, because fuck that. Someone else says, a few years ago, my parents rented out a duplex to a couple of college-aged girls, and they somehow found our private phone number. They called 3 times in one night because they wanted my father to come get a completely harmless 6-inch garter snake out of their basement. He told them to call the property manager. Well, that was that list, and now my chest hurts. So, maybe the way I'm sitting, something's going on. Oh, I love you all. Special thanks to Faith. Special thanks to Fat Man. Special thanks to Hannah. Special thanks to Red Jinx. And special thanks to Lexeus, the man with the master plan. Ooh, Lexeus, this one goes out to you. Big Worm Kevin says, gnarly, bro. Oh, thank you for the super chat. Swagsticle 808 says, here's some money towards that mic. Damn, son. I appreciate you, man. Every little bit helps. And you're a magical dude, I appreciate that. I appreciate it more than you know. Stay perfect, stay wonderful. And you'll see me tonight. So hopefully you're awake. And if you're not, the list will be there for you when you wake up. So see you in 6 more hours. Or maybe even sooner. I could jump on and start playing a game. If my life would take a break and stop harassing me with all of this other extracurricular bullshit. Someday I'll have enough money to just put myself in a bunker and do this around the clock. Someday. Love you, and you'll catch me soon. Bye.